If you can't do it right, don't do it at all. My father told me this all the time. I hear this phrase and phrases like it thrown around a lot. I understand the sentiment. If you've been hired to paint somebody's house, it's the common understanding that you are gonna try to do the best job that you possibly can. To try to do a bad job would be ridiculous and unethical, but doing the best you can is very different than doing a good job. Because if you suck at something or you've never done it before, it's not going to be good, and there's nothing you can do about it. This probably makes sense to you. It probably makes a lot of sense to most people, but everybody lives as if they don't believe it. They don't think that it applies to them. For instance, they won't go to the gym because they are weak or fat or both. And they think that everybody at the gym will be watching how weak or fat or both they are, how pathetic they are. They feel like they are going to be judged for being weak or fat or both and never having gone to the gym at all. They think they're supposed to already be jacked, or they go to the gym to kind of prove to everybody they are not that weak. But it's like, bro, you are not strong, and that's okay. People won't do piano lessons as an adult because some freak kid from their third grade class was playing with pure excellence shortly after exiting the womb. We do anything we can to run from the fact that we're probably gonna suck at most things, and we don't want anyone to find out. And honestly, it makes perfect sense why we have a tendency to do this. When we were kids, we'd get made fun of at school for being bad at kickball, or for running slow, or for having acne. And sometimes we get made fun of for being good at something, but that thing happened to be nerdy, like playing the trombone. So whatever it is, we adapted to our environment. We hid our talents and our weaknesses, and we sort of just flew under the radar to blend in. As a kid, we developed a mental framework that guarded us from humiliation, discomfort, and social scrutiny. The problem is that this coping mechanism made a lot of sense for that specific environment. It served a function that was useful at the time. But problems start to arise when we remain unconscious to the fact that we made that mental framework so early. Problems start to arise when we bring a mental framework or a philosophy from one environment into another environment, even though it may not be applicable or helpful any longer. So many of us still act and think like school children when we haven't been in school in decades. We remain terrified of social scrutiny, and it prevents us from doing anything that we aren't already good at. Which, I mean, if we've been thinking this way since school, we're probably not good at much. We don't want to be made fun of for not being good or successful, but made fun of by who? Where did these people go? The people are gone, obviously, but their judgment remains bouncing around our head. And if we are unconscious of it, it'll feel like our own rational thought. When we think of doing something that we want to do or something that we want to try out, we'll find ourselves automatically coming up with a reason or an excuse as to why we can't do it, or why we'll do it tomorrow, or we'll look for the perfect timing to do something. We find it very difficult to do things that we aren't known for. You know, we'll want to get into photography. So we watch some YouTuber or even 300 YouTubers trying to find the best preset so that your photos don't suck. It's like, I can't get into boxing. That isn't me. People will think that's weird. They'll say, what's gotten into you? But it's like, who is saying that? We like to pretend that our rationality is this pure, infallible logic instead of the survival instincts of a little kid who's trying not to get hurt. So let this be a reminder to you. You can just do things. Doesn't have to be good. If you know that something is good for you, or if it's a skill you want to develop, or there's no serious moral qualms with the thing that you are about to do, then do it. Most of the eternal dialogue that would prevent you from doing what you want to do doesn't matter. You can act anyways. You can do things that are uncomfortable or unnatural or something that you wouldn't normally do. And if you've never done it before, it's probably not going to be good. It was never going to be good. And it never had to be. We all actually suck in the beginning.